Here. Hi.
Hi.
Oh man, I'm actually really super excited about this.
I love your shades. That is
Thank you.
jealous.
Yes. I'm particularly fond of these.
Very nice.
Yeah, I feel like I want to get into biz. I'm going to sell my business. I'm just going to get into these.
I think you'd have a market.
Yeah, selling ladybug shades. Okay, we're going to go live, which means we have some intro music. You ready for it?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Here we go.
Kill the Guru.
That's right, we are live with Kill the Guru, episode number 13. Lucky number 13. This is where we stop the consumption and start the action. We, Brent and Arthur, the gurus of marketing, dish out some real advice to our guests, small business owners, and then they go away, they do it, they come back, and they let us know what worked, what didn't work, what was gold, and what was BS for them, and in doing so, they become their own gurus. Yes! I am Brent Kobayashi, president of Kobayashi Zeitguys, a marketing agency here in Toronto, Canada, and with me is Mr. Arthur Tutt, a marketing specialist at the KZ.
And if you're digging what you see here, make sure you smash that like and subscribe and notify buttons so you never, ever, ever miss a show.
Okay, so today we have our guest, Judy Dadd of the Wandering Minstrel Music School located in Streetsville of Mississauga, Ontario. This is definitely something you do not want to miss. So over the past 34 years, the Wandering Minstrel Music School has taught over 5,000 students how to play a musical instrument or to sing. Students have ventured from Etobicoke and Oakville and Burlington just to study with their teachers. Judy, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So glad to have you. Okay, so this is Kill the Guru. Why don't you just give us maybe a brief idea? Yes, you can take off your shades.
Yes.
Why don't you just give us a brief idea of what's going on with Wandering Minstrel right now? You actually have a brick and mortar business, like you have a location.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So you have a location, you have overhead. First of all, I just want to say our heart goes out to you. Every small business with their brick and mortar location, you've got your overhead. You can't have people come to your location as easily, maybe more so now. Things are changing a little bit, but it's been an interesting ride.
Yes, it's been rough for a lot of people. I mean, it's been rough for a lot of people. We're having to reinvent ourselves. I'm in a very traditional business where people have been teaching lessons the same way for hundreds of years. Like not much has changed. Technology really hasn't changed the industry very much. So COVID really made you have to stop and think about how you're going to provide services and if you can make changes to your model of how you do it. So.
Okay, and so before we get into maybe a little bit more specifics, so what did you discover? Like, did you change your model? Are you like all Zoom online, or what's happening?
We have been for the last 6 months. Yeah, we've been online all the time for the last 6 months. We're just starting to do a soft opening. Next week, we have one teacher coming in for 2 days, and then probably in October, we'll go to opening, but some teachers aren't going to be coming back regardless, just because some instruments are considered high risk. So singing, woodwinds, I read an article and it said you expel 10 times as much ear when you sing as you do when you talk. So, it's just like when you walk behind a runner ends up in front of you, you want to just make a left, right? Because you're like, they're just, puffing out a lot of ear. So
okay.
Yes, we hope we're doing that on, in person for a while.
You can't sing properly with like a full face covering?
Well, you can't wear a mask, right? And that's the thing is, and even if you wear a shield, the ear is still getting out. So with a mask, you would be also forcing air through the mask. It's not intended for that kind of forceful, exertion. So, and woodwinds, saxophone, you have to take the mask off to play.
Okay, so you've done some transitioning now. How has your clientele or audience, how have they received this? Is it working? Is it not? Is it what's going on there?
For some people, they like the experience. But for most people, I think what a lot of people are discovering is that we miss the personal contact, we miss the interactions, we miss, people. Teaching is very much just like they're discovering with schools. Kids do much better in a one-on-one environment where there's other people around. So yeah, people are discovering that they really do prefer the one-on-one, in-person lessons. Zoom's not for everybody. It works for some people really well, but for other people, and most of our clientele are children, so they do better in the one-on-one environment.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
So I guess going forward, the plan is to still provide that in-person, one-on-one experience. Maybe there's something that you can integrate with Zoom and online as to keep things going or to check in. So maybe there's a bit of a hybrid.
Right.
Just put that out there that could work well for you. All right. So the reason you're here is because we were chatting a bit and I was just like, okay, let's get some marketing advice because you got this $2,500 grant from Digital Main Street.
Yes.
So anybody who's in the Toronto area, and I know they've expanded it out to more of Ontario, you can get cash to do your marketing stuff. And so we were talking a little bit and you wanted to focus maybe a bit on your website and doing that type of thing.
Right.
And I wasn't so sure that that was the right direction. So give me an idea of what problem you're looking to solve or what marketing you want to do. Like, what have you been doing and what has worked or not worked?
So we've been fortunate, I used to go to your workshops and
Yes.
my SEO over the years has been pretty good. I rank fairly well, what do you call that, organically?
Yeah.
But, I haven't touched my website in a long time. And, over time it decays, right? Things change, standards change, apps, all of those things change. So I know I'm slipping. And then in terms of the marketing, the online lessons is like a new opportunity. It's not
Gotcha.
going to be our primary focus. But
Sorry, let's go back there for a minute. You said you're slipping. How come? How do you know you're slipping?
Well, when I do my search engine, I don't see, like, we're still ranking very well, but my customers are complaining that certain things on the website don't work so well. And
okay, so in other words, the experience on the site's not as good.
yeah. So that's, it's slow. I know it's slow, and that's a big red flag right there. Slow is back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the things I'm concerned about, is just making, like you said, making sure the customers have a good experience. And that's the concern.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
So the idea of doing the website is because you think you need to move forward with your marketing. The website's a bit of a pain point. So naturally, I've got this grant. Let me just invest in this a little bit. Is that correct?
Yeah, and like I said, COVID has made you realize that you need to do things differently. We're parents are younger, they're more savvy, they're on their mobile phone more. They're, they shop differently than people did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 years ago, we still had the yellow pages, the book that came. You flip through it, right? It was like the Bible.
Judy, I'm so glad you brought that up. I mean, obviously, it doesn't even happen anymore.
Yeah.
But at one point, I remember when the yellow pages came out, and of course, the internet had been around for a while, and I walked down the street on Danforth, and the yellow pages had been dropped in front of all of the places, and they sat there for 2 weeks on the Danforth, nobody picking them up.
Really?
It was just a graveyard of yellow pages that had been placed because they couldn't fit through the little mail slot, so they just get dropped as if on the front of the porch.
Right.
But it was apartment buildings on the Danforth,
Right.
or apartment above a store on the Danforth. So I was just like, it's gone, and they don't realize they're gone. So anyways, so yes, times have changed. Website, are you doing anything else? Do you do advertising? What else is part of your marketing and advertising mix?
Oh, I mean, I have an Instagram and a Facebook page for my business.
Okay.
But yeah, I have them.
Is that like saying, I have I don't know, my tools, my tool chest in the closet. I don't know if I'm going to take it out.
I've got workout equipment right beside me.
That's it. That's right. I've got the workout equipment. Gotcha.
It's right there.
Love it. Okay. So then the answer is nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you are doing something. first of all, you have brick and mortar.
Right.
That is a marketing presence.
Right.
It is not nothing. Maybe it's different than it was before.
Right.
Before people would walk by and say, oh, I want to go there. Maybe now they're going online to figure out stuff. And you have word of mouth. You have goodwill. You've been in business for a long time. So you do have marketing activities going. But we want to make sure that you're pandemic proof. We want to make sure that you don't participate in the recession, or at least less than the recession. That the GDP dropping like 10% doesn't mean all of a sudden Wandering Minstrel is not around, that type of thing. So that's what this is about.
Right.
Okay, so I am going to share something with you. I'm going to share. Are you okay if I share the new website that you've been putting together? Because you have been putting a new website. Okay. So let me just share my screen, and let me just go here. Share
Pick a good page. Pick a good page.
No problem. So let's just share the screen here. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the old website.
Yes.
All right. So Wandering Minstrels, and you said that it's slow and maybe some things on it are broken.
Right.
Right. And this is the, hold on, new website. Menu's better and it's probably faster, and you still have to fill it out and finish it up.
Yeah,
but
the homepage is the worst one. It's got a picture of a penguin on it.
okay.
It's cute.
So I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want you to spend money on your website.
No?
No. A website is a core marketing asset of which it's going to take time for it to make a difference as far as your marketing goes, which means that maybe since you've done a lot of work here, you finish this up with maybe a little bit of help,
Right.
but as little as possible.
Go to the lessons page and go to like the piano page.
Okay.
That's the page that like I've worked on the most.
This is the one you're proud of.
Well, I don't know if I'm proud of, but it's the one I've spent more time on.
Okay.
It's just a slight change in, the format and stuff. But
So this is all fine.
yeah.
This is amazing. You're doing amazing here.
Okay.
You do this. Okay. First of all, your homepage is fine.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean that there can't be improvements. There's always room for improvement, always. But
Right.
you're so far along, I think you should just finish this site
Okay.
because you're close to it and switch to it with maybe a little bit of support to tweak things and make things a little bit more polished. But even if you didn't have that, and you didn't spend the money on that, it would be fine.
Okay.
Okay, so that's number one. The reason why I'm saying this is because when you're doing marketing, it's usually about sequencing.
Okay.
What's the best thing to do next?
Okay.
So you mentioned that Facebook and Instagram are kind of sitting there with your workout equipment,
Yeah.
making you feel guilty that you're not using it.
I don't know if I feel guilty, but I know I ought to.
Okay, I'm glad you're not feeling guilty. I'm glad that that's not where you're at. Good, 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 good. Okay, so what I would like, the biggest thing that's important for you right now as a small business, local business, brick and mortar location is for the people in your area, immediate area, who will travel to you, who have a connection to you. They've seen your store. They have an emotional connection to you, even if they don't realize it. The most important thing for them is to see you and think about you and say, oh, yeah, actually, I do want guitar lessons, or my child wants guitar lessons or piano or whatever it happens to be.
Great.
To know that you're safe, that you're there, and again, just bring them back to top of mind.
Okay.
Or bring you back to top of mind.
Great.
So the way you do that is by showing up in their social media.
Okay.
Because that's where they are. I have an idea for you.
Okay.
You have teachers.
Yes.
And they're musicians.
Yes.
Would they be willing to, if you were to maybe put some advertising dollars behind it, so you do your part, they do their part, would they be willing to record Wandering Minstrel songs?
I don't know what that means.
So get in front of a video camera. A phone is fine.
Right.
With the guitar and say, do, Wandering Minstrels, we're over here on, you know,
Oh, okay. Oh, with the
hey,
jingle?
come on by. I want to teach you, your little kids, about this and that. And we'll play
Okay.
guitar and we could do electric. You get it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Something.
Come up with a jingle.
A jingle, just be creative. Even if
Okay.
it's just whatever it happens to be.
Okay. I got it.
Have every one of your teachers who are willing to
Okay.
do this.
Okay.
Okay. And then you put a little bit of Wandering Minstrel, just create videos from it.
Okay.
And it should be music lessons available for you in your area, from kids to adults, or whatever those words are going to be. And we're open and available and ready for you.
Okay.
And what you'll do is you'll put that into Facebook ads, and that's where your dollars go.
Okay.
Into a local Facebook, Instagram, maybe YouTube, geographically targeted YouTube
Great.
advertising. Have you done any of that kind of advertising before?
Well, we do. I mean, consistency is the problem, right? Like I post things infrequently. Posting students' videos, stuff from the recitals and performances. We do that. We do have some of that posted on YouTube. Not a lot. When we do it on Facebook, we get good response.
Good.
Do
Do you advertise? Do you actually put money behind it?
I have from time to time, but
Okay.
it's not I don't.
I'm
Okay,
just checking to see if you know how, or if you have support from somebody who knows how.
So before COVID, business ran quite consistently on its own because my SEO was good. So I was always getting new customers. Business came easily. So I didn't really feel a need to spend a lot of advertising budget because our business was always growing.
Of course,
every year we were
100%.
adding more. Yeah, we were just, going along well. And we have a capacity in terms of we only have so many rooms. We're only open so many hours. So, we do have a limit. So, we're not at that limit, but business was always moving forward. So I never felt this compelling need to spend. And I'm very conscious of return on investment when I advertise.
Good.
Lots of people out there are saying, oh, spend this much money. And I do the math and I'm like, okay, I spend this much money. And if it gets me 3 customers, I'm in the hole.
Okay.
I'm in the hole for a long time.
So let me just interrupt you for just a moment there. Here, actually, let's get off of sharing.
Okay.
So let me just, my research. Thank you, David. Let me just sort of allow you to think about this perhaps in a little bit of a different way. So I like that you're doing the equation and you're monitoring that. You're saying, hey, I spent, I don't know, $1,000 and I got 3 people, which means I'm going to be in a hole in a long time. Cool. That's great. One of the things that advertising is, it's sometimes the same as what you pay for your brick and mortar location. Meaning part of your location is location, location, location.
Right.
Meaning part of your overhead is because people walk by.
Okay.
And I know that part of it is because you need a location to actually have people come to.
Right.
Advertising can often be a similar thing. Your advertising is the way you get your location.
Right.
So content, as opposed to location gets people aware. Maybe it converted to 3 people this week, just like your brick and mortar converted to 3 people this week because you're paying for that location. And there's a lifetime value, of course, where you're like, it might take 5 years or whatever for that particular ad campaign to come to fruition. However, what you're doing is you're building up awareness constantly in that area. So there is part of it as that, other than the actual, so it's what we call awareness advertising versus transactional advertising. Okay, so just to step back a little bit. So one of the things that awareness advertising does support is it does create demand on a more continuous basis.
Okay.
So if you have that brand, you're the place that people want to go to, they've heard about it. 2 years later, I'm ready now to learn how to do my thing.
Right.
You're the one I want to go with, rather than, I don't know, I've never heard of you. Let me actually start to Google.
Right.
Oh, a bunch of people come up. Yeah, Wandering Minstrel, you know, there's Wandering Minstrel and there's this person, there's that person. You want Wandering Minstrel to be top of their mind, even if they're Googling, because they've seen you, they've seen your stuff, all that
Right.
kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So there's that. So I think so. There's the social media aspect of it, which I think can go a long way. You can share it on social. You can get people engaged with you. They're quite frankly, the sentiment to have you successful is so high. I think it could possibly be wonderful.
Right.
I think that's your next step. I have one other thought if that doesn't align with you.
Okay.
Does that align with you as a thing to do with your students, or is it a wacky idea you don't want to go for?
No, I appreciate marketing.
Or
Like
not students, but sorry, is that align with you with your teachers to do? The
Oh, I'm
song
sure.
thing?
Yeah, there's you know, the song thing. I think I can't get everyone to do it because some of them are classical and they don't write songs.
No, oh, actually, it can still work.
Yeah.
Okay, so Judy, this is one thing I want you to do as a marketer, because you are a small business owner, which means you're a marketer.
Okay.
As soon as the thought process goes through your head, that won't work.
Right.
The other thought process that goes through your head is, how could it work?
Okay.
So to give you they don't write songs. They're classical. They're going to play the classical piano. What about if they had some, you know how, you know, some of those songs, they have a person there with a, like a cardboard and they've written words
Bob
on it
Dylan?
and flip through them. Bob
Right.
Dylan was the one that first did it. I think U2 did it as well on one of their
Right.
things.
Kanye West, don't forget.
Okay, if Kanye did it, then it must be good, right? At least for some people. So they can play the piano, they can smile into the camera, and they can have somebody next to them flipping this thing. Just to give you an idea of how that thought process of a marketer works, right?
Well, and there's also a song called Poor Wandering Minstrel, I think. I think it's a Gilbert and Sullivan song. So there's some Gilbert and Sullivan, so they could do some musical theater stuff too. So.
Oh, yes. See, there you go. So again, number one thing when you're a marketer, and as a small business owner, you're a marketer, is as soon as you think it's not possible, things aren't going good, this is bad, the first thing you do is, what's the opportunity? How could it not be bad? What can I do that would be different, that you layer on top of it, that makes it the thing that you were trying to accomplish?
Right.
So all right. So I feel like we've got our kill the guru moment here.
Okay.
Okay.
I can work with this. I can do this.
You can do this. Okay.
I can do this.
So if you're willing to accept the challenge,
I will.
Your job for the next week and a bit, because next week we're fully booked, but I would love it if you came back 2 Fridays from now.
Okay.
So not next Friday, but the Friday after. And your job is to piece together or get as many of these songs recorded as possible.
Okay.
And get them on your social media. You don't have to advertise yet if you don't want to. We can talk about the next step after. I'd love it if you report back.
Okay.
How did it work? It didn't work. It did work. It doesn't matter if it works or not. You do not have to be a positive news story. You can come back in 2 weeks from me now, Judy, and say, that was the stupidest idea in the world. You guys are not gurus. You are dead. I kill you. Okay.
Well, that's going to happen. I think there's a potential. I have a lot of creative people, so I'm sure they wouldn't mind doing something. They're into it. So
perfect. Now, Digital Main Street also, I think, provides you some extra support if you want to do advertising and stuff like that. Is that they got like a consultant or something like that?
Yeah. So there's a lot of different programs you can participate in.
Wonderful. As you're doing this, getting your content all lined up,
right?
Could you speak with them and ask them, I'd like to use this content and create some local advertising?
Yes, it's an option. You can decide how you want to use the funds. any way you want to. You have to decide what your priorities are. If it's a website, if it's SEO, if it's marketing, if it's social media, you have a choice.
Fabulous. Okay, so that's it. Also, by the way, I think you can even buy equipment. Last time I looked into it, you could. Maybe you're having some computer problems. Maybe you get yourself a $500
I
desktop.
think they said that she told me that they never give money for equipment.
What?
Even though it's on there, she says they rarely grant it. I guess it depends where you are in your, like if you're just starting out, maybe it might be an option, but I think she says for the most part, they don't really.
Well, unfortunately, you have a phone, so you have all the equipment you need. You have a mobile cell phone, like an iPhone or something like that?
I have a tablet, I have an iPad.
You got all the equipment.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
This one's the nicest with the biggest screen.
Okay. So anyways, so then talk with them about the advertising aspect of it, because I think that's more important than your website. We're more than happy to support you. So we're going to give you a link into our Kill the Guru Facebook private group.
Okay.
You can ask questions in there. As an agency, maybe there is something for us to do, like setting up campaigns, because I know you do have to find a vendor. But see if you can get the digital Main Street people, the consultants, to do as much as possible. That way, the majority, if not all, of your grant can be towards the actual advertising. Okay. And then that's gonna, I really, really believe once you get out into the community, you're building up. I don't know about the fall, because marketing always takes some time, but you're building yourself up for a phenomenal 2021. Okay.
Okay. No, that's what I want to do. I want to move. A lot of people in my industry are suffering, so I don't want to be one of them.
No.
I want to do well, and like you said, see the opportunity and move forward to it and take advantage of what's happening. And
be a shot.
So gotta, I think that's the hardest part, is because most of us in this industry are musicians first. We don't necessarily have a strong business background. So learning how to do all these new things takes away from being a musician, but that's what you have to do when you're a business person. You have to wear many hats, and I already have many.
You do, Judy. And listen, we want you successful. You took the steps to build a school. Right? To be a business owner. You took the step to employ people. You took the step to say, listen, I'm going to make this happen in the way that I feel that this should be in the world, as in the quality and the people and the connection and all of that kind of stuff, right? And yes, we want your reward to be your own financial stuff, but you have taken the step to move forward into this world and show up. And so let's just keep that going.
Right. Yeah. No, all right. That's what this is. It's what I do. It's my life. It's my life.
Yeah.
It's all I want to do. A career change is not an option.
All right. So we're in. This is it. You're in, and you're okay. So wonderful. So you've got some support here. You've got those digital Main Street. We'll get you into our Facebook group. Okay. And let's make this happen. This is so good.
I shall.
Okay. So we'll hook you up into Fridays from now. If anything happens in between, then you're gonna ping us and say, hey, this is happening. I'm not sure what to do.
Okay.
You got it?
I got it. Thank you.
I thank you so much for taking this on.
Oh, it's terrific. No, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, wonderful. Okay.
Hold on. Before we wrap, Judy, very important. Where can people find you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, my website is wanderingminstrel.ca is my website. And, we are in Streetsville, local. And, we, like you said, we have people who come from all over. We have a student who drives all the way from Guelph to come to have lessons with us. So.
Whoa. So I know. That's nice. So Streetsville, Mississauga.
Yes. Did you say you've got an Instagram too?
I do have Instagram. I do have Instagram, Facebook, and our website. Yes.
Do you know what your @ handle is for Instagram?
Oh my goodness. Oh, let me check my trusty. I don't know. Isn't that terrible? I'm sure it's Wandering Minstrel Music.
All right. We're finding you right now.
Yeah, I don't even, geez, isn't that sad?
Wandering Minstrel. Here we go. Wandering Minstrel School.
Is that what it is?
Yep. 16 Main Street, Mississauga. That's you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that is all in the chat. Thank you so much, Judy.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. That was a real pleasure. Okay. Let's now go into the outro, which means I have to share again. Gee whiz. Okay, this is truly alive. You can put on your shades if you want. It's optional.
I like this Hollywood.
Yes.
It's so me.
I know. Okay, here, let's do this. There we go. Whoa.
Kill the guru.
Yes, that's right. That was Kill the Guru, episode number 13, Friday the 13th today. Thank you so much, Judy, for joining us. That was really fantastic. I'm very, very, very excited to see what you do with your Wandering Minstrels. And so next Monday, there actually will be no show because it's a holiday here in Ontario. And we're going to do whatever we want to do. But the day after that, we'll be back with another marketing Q&A smorgasbord, answering real questions posed to us in the comments section of wherever people are watching this. So, yes, that's a hint. Drop your questions in the comments and keep watching to see what kind of answers we have. Judy, thank you so much.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
All right. That's it. Then we go to Mr. Arthur Tutt, and he says,
It was very nice to meet you, Judy.
Oh, yes. Nice meeting you too. Keep well.
And let's cut it.
There we go.